Thank you, each and every one, for joining me once again for this time in the Word of the Living God. I welcome you, our friends, our listeners, to the Living Water Church of God Devotional on today. And I hope you are doing well. I'm thankful that we can use this opportunity once again to go into the Word, to go into the Scriptures, to find out the mind of God, how to address the different areas of our life, that we can be the best that He created each of us to be, to live and to fulfill our purpose in this world, and to make an impact and a difference in another person's life. Today's subject that I want to share with our listeners is being angry with God. Being angry with God. There are so many of us who have found ourselves in this particular position, in this place. And most of us, when you find yourself angry, maybe with another human being, that's one thing. But when you and I find ourselves angry with God, that is on a totally different level. Something has happened to some degree and to some extent that causes a resentment, a bitterness, sometimes a hatred, a anger, a frustration, just this thing that we sometimes can have against God, our Creator, and that can cause us as individuals to fall out with God and to hold things against Him. And some of the different reasons that people sometimes they may fall out with God, it can be things wherein when a person fall out with God, before I go into the reasons, we always reach the crossroad. We always reach that intersection. When we look north, south, east, and west, there is a question that always sits right in the middle of the intersection, and it is the question of why? God, why did you? And many of us, we have found ourselves there, wherein we ask that question, God, why did you do this? God, why did you do that? God, why did you allow? And when we look at some of the reasons that people feel that way, they may ask, God, I am angry with you. Why did you allow my child, my loved one, to suffer and die? Why did you allow my mother to go through what she went through with this terminal illness? Why did you allow my father? Why did you allow my grandmother or my grandfather, my sibling? Why didn't you allow my boyfriend or my girlfriend or maybe a fiance, my husband, my wife? Why did you allow my best friend? This person did not bother anyone. This person did not cause anyone any harm. I do not understand, God. You could have stopped this, but you let them die. So that is a reason. And then there are reasons sometimes as parents. Sometimes we can find ourselves asking God the questions of why. God, why did you allow my child to be born with a birth defect? My only prayer was that I wanted a healthy child, free of any birth defects, free of anything. I do not want them to have cerebral palsy. I do not want them to have maybe autism. I do not want them to, to be handicapped. I do not want them to have some kind of defect that is going on within their mind, within their body. And these are honest, real reasons that they put on the table, that they bring to God. I did not want my child to be born with leukemia or cancer I did not want my child to be born where their stature, their height is stunted. I did not want my child to be born with maybe diabetes, or maybe they have a body part that is missing. So there are individuals who find themselves at the crossroad, even when it comes down to things like that. There are situations where many of us, we have prayed and we find ourselves angry. I mean, God, I am angry with you because I prayed that you would give me deliverance. I prayed that you would get me off of these drugs. I prayed that you would get me off of this alcohol. Although I kept going to the drug house, although I kept going to, maybe the, to the place where I could purchase alcohol, but you just wouldn't take it away from me. You didn't do anything, God. You left me hanging. You left me out there. So this is another reason that people can find themselves there. And then there are reasons where it's one thing for us to put our confidence and trust in maybe another human being. But then there are times where a person may feel, God, I trusted you. I trusted you that you would have my back. But you let me down. And then there are situations where each of us, when we look in the mirror, sometimes we may look at maybe our physical makeup, and we may not like the body that God put us in. All of us, we are spirit, but God put our spirit in a different pigment, in bodies that have different pigmentation, that have different amounts of melanin in it. Sometimes we may look at, God, I do not like this body. I do not like my complexion. You put my spirit man in a body wherein I experience being stereotyped. I experience being profiled. I experience racism. I experience being ridiculed. I experience being picked at. I experience being bullied. Sometimes I experience being stereotyped because you put me in a body, and although other people view me as attractive, I do not see what they see. Although my looks, it draws a lot of attention. But then I have to experience being bullied. I have to experience, because of my looks, that I attract a lot of attention. That I experience different things with jealousy and envy. So there are situations wherein a person, you may not like your hair. You may not like the color of your eyes. You may not like maybe the size of your lips. You may not like the frame of your body. And people have anger toward God, even over the body that they're in. Then you can look at situations and say, God, you did not protect me. You did not protect my child. You did not protect my spouse, my loved one. We were on our way to the beach on vacation. And here is someone. We are following the rules of the road. We're just enjoying each other as a family. And here's someone. The person is under the influence. The person was drinking. They were driving. They crossed over 3 lanes through the median. Hit our car head on. Took the life of my spouse. Took the life of all of my children. I am a quadriplegic now. God, I am angry. My whole quality of life, my whole world has been shattered. Why did you not protect us? Why did you not keep that person who is a drunk driver off the road, who has totally destroyed my whole family? Then you have situations where a person may say, for is their reason for being angry with God, I prayed for healing. And God, I am still sick. You say in your word that You are Jehovah Rapha, the God that healeth thee. I do not understand. What is your purpose? Why would you let me go through this type of sickness? God, why would you let my hair fall out? God, why would you let me look like a skeleton? I mean, God, why would you just let me go through all of these things? So I prayed for healing, but you still haven't healed me yet. God, I prayed for a job. I mean, but it's like I can't find a job anywhere. God, why did you let my relationship break up? Why did you let my marriage end in disaster? I mean, God, why did you let me fail in college? And so these are different reasons. We can look at different things. I mean, God, why did you let this person sexually assault me? Why did you let this person rape me? Why did you let my parent commit incest with me? Take my innocence, take my virginity. God, why did you let the church, this preacher at the church that I went to, this person of the cloth, take advantage of my vulnerability? I am angry, God. And this is where many people are on today. Many people are in this place at this crossroad. In Psalms 22, verse 1 and 2, it reads, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? This sounds like the very words of the Son of God. Why art thou so far from helping me and from the words of my roaring? You hear me calling out to you, God. Why do it seem like you are ignoring me? Oh my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not, and in the night season, and I am not silent. Many of us, we have found ourselves there. But one thing about God is this. We may not understand sometimes things that happen in this life that we live. We live in a world where this is an imperfect world. We live in a world where things do not happen politically correct. And God is always there, even when we think that He isn't there. I personally know what it is like to be angry with God. And the thing that I learned is it's not that God doesn't answer. It's not that God does not respond. It is not that God does not love you and care about your situation. It is not that God do not care about your hurt, your pain, your suffering. Even the scripture says that we have a high priest. He knows every level and degree of pain that we have been through. And He wants you to know that many times when we are in pain, we shift the blame to a source. And many times we can shift our pain and the blame even to God. But God will never leave you nor forsake you. Wherever you are, do not hold your anger toward God, but ask God to help you to release it, and ask God to help you, to invite you into where you are. God bless you.